said to have no end. Where would it ultimately lead to?
The center is hollow. And in fact, they dropped a bomb on the moon not too long ago. And the geologist, NASA geologist, wanted to record the vibrations coming out of it so they could tell something about the inner structure. And it rang for 8 hours like a bell, like an empty bell. Whether or not the Earth itself is completely hollowed out inside, or whether or not they are just vast inner caverns that might be the size of whole continents, I'm not sure. But what I can tell you is that in ancient civilization, all over the globe, they have these stories.
When we look at the creation stories of our past, as different as they are from one another, there are common themes that weave them all together.
The Nephilim were the sons of gods mingling with the daughters of Adam. They were also known as giants and considered to be the fallen ones. Michael Mott's research suggests that they might have retreated underground. Are these the giants described in ancient texts?
What became of the gods? I'm not sure that I can give an answer to this question. Maybe that the survivors, the ones that could still be alive in our solar system, live underground on Earth.
Perhaps the answer to this question lies deep in the Amazon jungle, 2,500 miles south of Belize. An indigenous tribe known as the Makushi have lived here with little contact from the outside world until the mid-18th century. And yet, their mythology is almost identical to beings who protect the hollow earth described by the Mayans.
You have that South American tradition, which is very interesting, of the tribe that said that they were guarding the entrance to the inner earth. And they said it would take maybe a couple of weeks to finally get down far enough where they would meet the inhabitants, and they were just these gigantic people, anywhere between 10 and 11.5 feet tall. So, of course, the common idea is that, oh, this is just a bunch of mythology by a primitive people. But what's interesting is they talked about how when they got far enough down, one of the things they saw was basically molten rock. And that's exactly what modern science tells us you should find underneath the earth. And how would a primitive people know that? There are also areas where there's all this lush plants and food and the people living down there. Can we take that seriously? We're left with this very interesting myth that has a few intriguing elements to it. It's worth a look if we can get down there.
Traveling for 15 days down into this cavern until they literally put down their torches, because there's these inner balls of light that will light you the rest of the way on steps that are 33 inches long. And they describe the food as being apples the size of a human head, grapes the size of a human fist. Interacting with giant beings that they described as being 3 to 4 meters in height, who would catch giant fish for them and give it to them as a gift. That kind of detail. Now, whether it's completely hollow inside or whether or not these vast caverns are just there.
Known and studied so well, there are all these unseen places. There is more to be known. Even as our technology advances, we have to be humbled by how much close at hand we do not know. The ancients, the people, the primal people that lived close to the earth, saw the gods and spirits, the sacred energies as down in those places. Whether we go down to explore physically, personally, I'll let somebody else do the exploring. But I want to explore mentally and spiritually. I want to imagine what is below us, what the earth has to teach us. It is a living thing, and our lives are tied to it. So we don't have to be adherents of the ancient nature religions to know this is important stuff.